After getting divorced and abandoned, she rushed into marriage with a stranger only to discover he's a tech billionaire. Aria's knees trembled. Ethan had promised honesty, a fresh start after her heart was torn apart by betrayal. She trusted him completely. Now, doubt seeped in, bitter and heavy. She thought desperately, when the man you married has been living a lie, how can you trust anything was real? Ethan's eyes met hers, pleading, regretful, yet she hesitated, torn between anger and longing. Could love survive secrets woven from fear? Her mind echoed a question she now desperately needed answered. Would you forgive someone who hid their entire identity, even if they did it for love? Hello, my beautiful family. Let's dive straight into this story without wasting time. And just in case you haven't subscribed yet, then you are really missing out on a lot. So, take a moment to hit the subscribe button. Aria stood silently on the courthouse steps, gripping the finalized divorce papers so tightly her knuckles paled. 7 years of marriage reduced to cold legal jargon and ink. Her heart, a hollow shell, felt as if it had been drained of every hope she'd ever dared to hold on to. A sudden gust of wind blew stray hair across her cheek, and she brushed it aside absently, barely noticing the chill. Glancing up, she saw Mark across the street, stepping confidently into his gleaming sports car, a youthful woman laughing on his arm. A pang twisted in her chest. He had moved on swiftly, cruelly, without a glance back. Had she ever truly known him? Tears welled, but she fought them back. He'd stolen enough of her dignity already. Her phone vibrated sharply, breaking her spiraling thoughts. She answered with a weary sigh. Yes, Olivia? You better not be crying alone again, Aria, came Olivia's gentle yet insistent voice. You promised me you'd stop punishing yourself. Aria swallowed the lump in her throat. I'm fine, just leaving court. You don't sound fine, Olivia countered. Listen, I know you hate blind dates, but this guy is perfect. Just give it one chance, okay? Tonight at 7, do it for me. Aria hesitated, wanting desperately to say no, but Olivia's unwavering determination wore her down. Fine, she relented softly, but only 1 hour, tops. Later that evening, Aria found herself standing outside a cozy downtown wine bar, anxiety bubbling uncomfortably inside her. She adjusted her black dress nervously, heart fluttering as she recalled Olivia's description. Tall, dark-haired, charcoal suit. She scanned the dimly lit room, eyes landing on a man sitting alone at the bar, perfectly matching Olivia's description. Summoning her courage, she approached carefully. Hi, are you Jason? She asked softly, her voice hesitant yet hopeful. The man turned, eyes rich hazel, gaze filled with gentle confusion. I'm sorry, he said warmly. I think you have me mistaken for someone else. Heat flooded Aria's face instantly. Oh gosh, I'm so sorry. My friend set me up and described someone who looks exactly like you. Sorry to disturb you. No disturbance at all, he assured kindly, offering a charming, reassuring smile. Honestly, it's flattering. I'm Ethan. A subtle warmth from his easy demeanor helped ease Aria's embarrassment. Aria, she offered quietly. Well, Aria, Ethan gestured casually to the seat beside him. Since your date hasn't arrived yet, why not wait here? I promise I won't bite. His sincerity felt genuine, and a small laugh escaped her lips as she settled beside him. All right, maybe just a moment. Minutes stretched into comfortable conversation, Ethan's warmth effortlessly coaxing her from guarded reservation into genuine laughter. Each sentence exchanged was effortless, their connection growing naturally. Ethan was in town on business, yet somehow, amid their conversation, Aria's heartache gradually softened, and she forgot the pain she'd carried only hours before. So what do you do, Aria? Ethan asked, sipping his wine, curiosity brightening his eyes. She hesitated briefly, shyly admitting, I'm an artist, or at least I was. It's complicated. Ethan leaned closer, genuine interest evident. I'd love to hear about it. Reluctantly at first, then with growing openness, Aria shared pieces of herself she'd kept locked away, dreams she'd suppressed beneath Mark's dismissive criticisms. Ethan listened intently, eyes gentle and patient, offering nothing but quiet encouragement. You deserve better, he said finally, voice soft yet resolute. Aria exhaled shakily, surprised at how deeply those words resonated. Thank you, Ethan. I didn't expect tonight to feel so healing. He smiled tenderly, eyes holding hers steadily. Sometimes a stranger's voice helps us see our worth, his lips curved playfully. Maybe we were meant to. Time slipped by unnoticed, and Aria realized with quiet amusement her actual date had never arrived. I should go, she finally murmured, reluctantly standing. Ethan rose with her, clearly hesitant to part. Can I see you again, Arya? Maybe just as friends, or more? Her heart fluttered wildly, uncertainty and hope colliding, but the tenderness in Ethan's eyes outweighed her fears. Yes, she whispered. I'd really like that. Exchanging numbers felt oddly momentous, a small act carrying immense promise. Outside, the evening air cooled her flushed cheeks, and Arya walked home feeling lighter than she had in months. Days turned into weeks, and Ethan's presence gently illuminated the shadowed corners of Arya's heart. They strolled hand in hand through galleries, lingered over coffee, and whispered beneath starry skies. Ethan became more than a companion, he was a confidant who believed in her deeply, reigniting the passion for her art. One quiet night, beneath a silvery moonlight streaming through her apartment windows, their whispered conversation stretched intimately into vulnerable confessions. Ethan's gaze was tender, fingertips gently brushing her cheek. You have no idea how special you are, do you? Arya's breath hitched softly, the sincerity in his eyes piercing through her insecurities. She leaned into his touch instinctively. You're making me believe I could be... His lips brushed hers softly, a delicate exploration deepening with quiet intensity. Their first kiss, unplanned yet inevitable, was a promise sealed. Ethan's arms encircled her gently, drawing her close, and Arya's heart whispered clearly, Trust this. Trust him. That night, Ethan stayed, their intimacy a gentle affirmation of the bond growing deeper between them. By morning, Arya awoke feeling whole in a way she'd nearly forgotten. Ethan's eyes opened slowly, meeting hers with gentle adoration. Morning, he murmured, voice rich with sleepy warmth. She smiled shyly, cheeks flushed, whispering, Morning. The weeks melted into a blur of romance, passion, and emotional fulfillment. Ethan was warmth and reassurance embodied, healing wounds she'd thought permanent. One enchanted evening, beneath candlelight and surrounded by soft music, Ethan's voice trembled slightly, eyes earnest. Marry me, Arya. Tonight. Her heart surged, logic battling emotion momentarily before surrendering. Yes, she whispered, eyes glistening with happy tears. At midnight, beneath an arch of flowers at a tiny chapel, their vows mingled with heartfelt tears and breathless promises. Ethan's fingers trembled gently as he slipped a simple ring onto her finger. Forever, he vowed softly. Forever, she echoed, heart full and hopeful. Their hotel suite afterward was filled with laughter, passion, and whispered promises. Ethan carried her playfully across the threshold, their intimacy deeply tender yet fervently passionate, binding their hearts irreversibly. Morning dawned softly, yet Arya woke alone. Curious, she rose, wrapping herself loosely in a sheet, pausing at a muffled, urgent voice drifting from the adjacent room. We're on honeymoon. I'll handle it. Ethan spoke curtly into the phone, unaware she stood frozen nearby. Her stomach twisted anxiously. Pushing open the door slightly, she caught sight of a glowing tablet nearby. Her heart stopped cold. Blazing across the screen was the headline, Tech billionaire Ethan Cole marries mysterious woman in secret ceremony. Her vision blurred, panic gripping her fiercely. Ethan turned suddenly, shock evident as he quickly ended his call. Arya, wait, I can explain. She stepped back, betrayed tears gathering rapidly. You're Ethan Cole? You're a billionaire and you hid that from me? Ethan approached, voice pleading. Arya, I feared losing you. People always change once they know. Her wounded eyes met his anguished gaze, disbelief warring with heartbreak. I trusted you, she whispered, agony fracturing her voice. How could you hide something this significant from me? Ethan's voice broke, desperate yet gentle. I never meant to hurt you. Everything else is true, Arya, my feelings, my love. Arya shook her head, feeling the bitter sting of betrayal reopening old wounds she thought had finally healed. Love built on lies isn't love at all. She turned away, anguish sweeping over her again, trust shattering around her. She'd opened her heart fully, only to face deception once more. Ethan's frantic pleas faded behind her, yet despite her rage and pain, a small voice whispered softly within her heart, Can broken trust ever be rebuilt? In the silence that lingered after Arya stormed away from Ethan, her heart pulsed with raw, conflicting emotions. The hotel room, once a sanctuary of their newly discovered bliss, now felt oppressive, each carefully chosen furnishing a reminder of Ethan's hidden reality. She closed the door firmly behind her, leaning heavily against it as tears spilled freely down her cheeks. The sting of betrayal cut deeper because she dared to believe again, dared to open herself to a man who seemed worthy of her trust. Yet behind those warm hazel eyes was a life concealed, a life too grand, too complicated for her to comprehend. Arya. Ethan's gentle knock startled her, his voice muffled by the barrier between them. Please talk to me. She pressed her forehead against the wood, fingers trembling as she grasped the door handle, uncertain whether to let him in or push him further away. Drawing a shaky breath, she finally whispered, I trusted you. I know. Ethan's voice cracked softly, and it kills me that I hurt you like this. Slowly, Arya turned the handle, opening the door just enough to see his eyes, dark with remorse, glistening with sincerity. It unraveled something guarded inside her, prompting her heart to reluctantly soften. Why, Ethan? Why didn't you just tell me? Because the moment I met you, everything changed, he admitted quietly. You looked at me without expectations or motives. I was afraid to lose the one genuine connection I'd ever found. His vulnerability disarmed her anger slightly, yet the hurt lingered, stubborn and sharp. Ethan noticed her hesitation and reached gently to touch her hand, his warmth grounding yet painful in its reminder of what she'd nearly lost. Arya, he whispered earnestly, let me make this right. Just give me a chance. She sighed deeply, stepping back to allow him inside, wary but unable to deny the pull he still held over her heart. He moved carefully, respectfully giving her space. Settling into the suite's plush chairs, silence stretched between them before Arya finally broke it. Tell me who you really are, she demanded softly, eyes searching his face. No more secrets. Ethan exhaled slowly, nodding. I started my company young, a tech startup. A small idea that exploded into something bigger than I ever imagined. Suddenly, I was in magazines, conferences, meetings. Everything revolved around money, power, influence. People changed how they saw me. I became an investment, a name rather than a person. He paused, eyes deeply sincere. But with you, Arya, I was just Ethan. For the first time in years, I was free to be myself, without pressure or expectation. I didn't want to lose that. Her chest tightened painfully as understanding washed over her. The gravity of his truth resonated deeply, touching memories of her own insecurities, of being judged by Mark. I get that, Ethan. I do. But trust matters more to me than anything. I know, Ethan responded gently, and I'll spend every day proving you can trust me again. Arya studied him carefully, her heart softening against her wishes. A part of her knew she could forgive him, yet another part, afraid and wounded, urged caution. Then show me, she said quietly. Show me who you are. Ethan's eyes brightened, relief visible in his posture. Come with me today. See the real Ethan Cole, my world, and then decide if you still want this. Hours later, Arya stood beside Ethan as they entered a sleek building downtown. Glass and chrome surrounded her. Crisp white hallways filled with bustling, confident staff members greeting Ethan with respectful warmth. He gently took her hand, offering reassurance through a simple touch. This is Cole in Avengers, Ethan explained, voice soft yet proud. It's a part of who I am, but it's not everything. They walked through the open workspace filled with engineers, designers, and innovators whose eyes lit up at Ethan's presence. He introduced Arya proudly, not as a mysterious figure but openly as his wife, each word tinged with pride and sincere affection. At his office, a spacious, minimalist room overlooking the city, Arya paused, taking in the breathtaking view. Ethan closed the door quietly, studying her reaction cautiously. It's overwhelming, she admitted softly. I know, Ethan responded, approaching slowly. It's been overwhelming for me too. But none of it matters without someone real to share it with. The sincerity in his voice made her chest tighten gently, heart fighting its war of conflicting emotions. I'm scared, she confessed suddenly. What if I can't fit into this? Ethan took her hands firmly yet gently, stepping closer, his gaze steady and unwavering. You don't have to fit into this, Arya. I never wanted you to change. I fell in love with the real you, your kindness, your creativity, your heart. This is just background noise. A quiet knock interrupted their conversation. Ethan released her reluctantly as the door opened to reveal a woman carrying a canvas carefully wrapped in brown paper. I hope this isn't a bad time, she said apologetically. It's perfect, actually, Ethan reassured, smiling warmly. Arya, this is something I had arranged before everything happened. Curiosity piqued, Arya gently removed the wrapping to reveal a beautifully framed painting, her painting. Shock filled her expression as her fingers traced the familiar brushstrokes delicately. Ethan, she whispered, breath catching sharply. How did you? I saw it in the gallery that first weekend we met, he admitted softly, eyes gentle. Your talent amazed me. I bought it anonymously, hoping to surprise you. I wanted you to see what I saw, someone remarkable. Tears blurred her vision, emotions swirling powerfully inside her chest. She set the painting down carefully before turning to Ethan, vulnerability shining openly in her gaze. You believed in me even before I believed in myself. Always, Ethan said simply, stepping forward carefully, gently wiping away a stray tear with his thumb. Let me be that person for you again. Arya closed her eyes, feeling the warmth radiating from him, his tenderness soothing her doubts gradually. Trust was still fragile, yet undeniable affection pulled her back toward him despite everything. Ethan leaned forward slowly, his breath soft against her lips, whispering gently, Please forgive me, Arya. His kiss was gentle, patient yet filled with the quiet urgency of apology and longing. Arya surrendered slowly, her defenses melting as his lips caressed hers with reverent care. Her heart fluttered wildly, affirming what she already knew deep inside. Ethan Cole was imperfect yet deeply genuine. I forgive you, she murmured softly against his mouth, words trembling with sincerity. Relief flooded Ethan's expression, deepening their kiss tenderly. His hands gently cupped her face, pouring every ounce of genuine remorse and adoration into his touch, silently vowing never to risk her trust again. That evening, back in their hotel room, intimacy blossomed anew, deeper and richer with fresh understanding. They spoke softly beneath the dimmed lights, quiet laughter mingling with heartfelt whispers as they rediscovered each other's vulnerabilities. Ethan shared stories from his childhood, tender moments stripped bare of wealth or expectation, revealing a side of him Arya cherished deeply. Eventually, words fell quiet as tenderness gave way to deeper longing. Ethan's fingertips traced slowly down her shoulder, leaving gentle trails of warmth. Arya shivered, heart quickening with anticipation as she felt his lips softly brush along her collarbone. Their lovemaking that night was slow, intentional, healing rather than hurried. Ethan moved with careful reverence, each tender kiss and caress quietly reassuring her fragile trust. His whispered words of adoration filled her heart, soft murmurs of promises he intended fully to keep. Ethan, Arya gasped softly, arching gently beneath him, the warmth of their connection gradually intensifying into pure bliss. His eyes locked onto hers, open, vulnerable, genuine. I'm yours, Arya, every part of me. Together they climbed toward release, their bodies perfectly attuned, hearts reconnecting fully in that intimate moment. As pleasure surged, Arya clung tightly, heart soaring as she whispered his name breathlessly. Afterward, nestled warmly against Ethan's chest, Arya sighed deeply in contentment. He brushed her hair softly, their shared silence comfortably profound. Promise me again, she whispered tenderly. No more secrets, Ethan vowed, sincerity etched deeply in every syllable. Just us, exactly as we are. Peace flooded her heart completely as she closed her eyes, embracing this unexpected love fully, knowing challenges might come yet secure in the belief their bond was strong enough to overcome them all. Now, my beautiful family, if you've experienced love that overcame significant challenges, please subscribe and share your story below. We'd love to hear from you. Please, it will take you just a few seconds to hit the subscribe button. It will help us grow. Thank you. Now let's continue. Days turned into weeks, each one deepening the quiet but profound connection between Arya and Ethan. Their lives merged seamlessly, simple daily rituals blending naturally with newfound joy. Ethan's mornings began with quiet admiration as Arya painted beneath the soft glow of dawn. Evenings ended with whispered conversations and shared dreams that once seemed impossible. The outside world faded effortlessly into the background as they focused solely on nurturing their fragile yet resilient bond. One radiant evening, a cool breeze wafted gently through Arya's open balcony doors. Soft jazz played quietly from the speakers, notes intertwining gracefully with their laughter and the clink of wine glasses. Ethan watched Arya from across the candlelit table, eyes sparkling with quiet intensity as she described her latest inspiration, her voice animated with a passion he'd grown to cherish deeply. You truly amaze me, Ethan murmured, interrupting gently. Arya paused, cheeks slightly flushed from wine and happiness. What do you mean? The way you see the world, he responded tenderly, leaning forward slightly, eyes never leaving hers. Your art, your dreams, your courage, it's breathtaking. Her heart fluttered gently, warmth spreading softly throughout her chest. She looked down shyly, tracing patterns on the tablecloth. It's easy when someone believes in you. Ethan reached across the table, gently taking her hand in his. I believe in you more than anyone, more than anything. Their eyes met, emotions quietly swirling within the silence that followed. Ethan's thumb brushed softly across her knuckles, the touch speaking more eloquently than words ever could. "Marry me, Arya." His voice was soft yet certain, the words spoken so naturally they might have been breathing. Arya's breath caught, surprise mingling gently with undeniable excitement. "Ethan, we're already married," she whispered, smiling softly at his impulsiveness. "No, I mean truly marry me," Ethan clarified earnestly, voice rich with sincerity. "A real ceremony, one that celebrates us openly, with everyone we love watching. I want the whole world to see how proud I am to be your husband." Her heart trembled slightly at the vulnerability behind his words, realizing what he truly sought, a fresh, unhidden start. Slowly, a radiant smile blossomed across her lips. "Yes, Ethan, of course, I will." In that single moment, joy surged through them both, Ethan rising swiftly to lift Arya gently into his embrace. His kiss was warm, deep, overflowing with promises of forever. They wasted no time, excitement guiding their decisions as they planned swiftly but intentionally. A romantic garden venue was chosen just outside the city, surrounded by lush greenery and delicate flowers. Soft string lights crisscrossed above, promising a night filled with warmth and magic. Invitations went out quickly to close friends and family. Olivia, thrilled yet cautious, helped Arya select a graceful ivory gown, its soft lace gently accentuating her elegant figure. Ethan arranged every detail with careful attention, ensuring the wedding reflected their journey, simple yet rich in meaningful touches. On the morning of the ceremony, sunlight painted everything softly gold, the air filled with anticipation and subtle excitement. Arya stood quietly before the full-length mirror, heart fluttering delicately beneath the lace gown she wore. Her reflection showed a woman renewed, eyes alight with hope and genuine happiness. Olivia approached softly from behind, tears shimmering lightly in her eyes. "You look incredible, Arya." "Thank you," Arya responded, voice barely above a whisper, emotions gently swirling within her heart. "I never imagined feeling this happy again." "You deserve every bit of it," Olivia affirmed warmly. "Ethan loves you truly. I can see it clearly." As Arya stepped into the garden, soft music enveloped her gently, petals scattered delicately along the path. Guests rose warmly, their smiles radiating sincere joy and support. Arya's eyes locked onto Ethan's immediately, his tender gaze holding her securely, promising a lifetime of devotion. Ethan's voice trembled gently as he began his vows, hands shaking slightly yet eyes firmly fixed on hers. "Arya, from the moment we met, you've captivated me. You've made me believe in love again. I vow to cherish you always, to honor your trust, and to remain by your side through every joy and challenge that life brings. You're my greatest gift, and I promise to love you fiercely, openly, and honestly forever." Tears brimmed gently in Arya's eyes as she smiled, voice soft yet unwavering. "Ethan, you restored my faith in love and taught me how beautifully imperfect true partnership can be. Today, I promise to trust you fully, to support your dreams as you've supported mine, and to never again doubt the incredible love we share. With you, I feel truly seen, safe, and deeply loved." As the officiant pronounced them husband and wife, Ethan drew Arya close, sealing their vows with a kiss filled with warmth, reverence, and boundless passion. Friends and family erupted joyfully, applause mingling sweetly with the soft rustle of leaves above. The reception was intimate, laughter and conversation flowing easily beneath twinkling lights. Ethan spun Arya gently across the dance floor, their bodies perfectly synchronized as if made specifically for one another. Guests watched fondly, moved by the tender authenticity of their union. Later, beneath a sky glittering softly with stars, Ethan guided Arya toward their honeymoon suite, a secluded cabin nearby, romantic, intimate, perfectly theirs. He lifted her gently across the threshold, whispering warmly, "Welcome home, Mrs. Cole." Inside, candles flickered softly, petals strewn gently across crisp sheets. Ethan's lips found hers immediately, the passion of the day giving way to deeper, profound intimacy. Their hands moved slowly, cherishing every touch, every sigh, as they undressed with gentle reverence. Ethan gazed tenderly at Arya's delicate curves, fingertips tracing her skin with quiet awe, eliciting gentle shivers that heightened their desire. Arya responded eagerly, softly pulling him closer, their bodies molding together seamlessly, hearts beating in harmonious rhythm. "I love you," Ethan murmured against her skin, kissing gently down her neck, along her collarbone and across her breasts. Each kiss was deliberate, reverent, igniting warmth throughout her entire being. Arya gasped softly as Ethan guided her gently onto their bed, his warmth enveloping her completely. His lips found hers again, their kisses deepening passionately, filled with promises silently spoken through intimate caresses. Ethan slowly entered her, their union tender yet deeply passionate. Arya moaned quietly, wrapping herself around him completely, their bodies moving together with effortless harmony, each thrust a declaration of their renewed bond and mutual surrender. Pleasure built slowly, delicately, blooming into something profoundly beautiful and intense, their eyes locked, silently affirming the trust, love, and intimacy they'd fought tirelessly to rebuild. Arya cried out softly, her climax surging through her like pure, radiant joy. Ethan followed moments later, whispering her name reverently as they both succumbed to blissful release. They lay entwined afterward, breath mingling softly, hearts quietly beating together. Ethan brushed tender kisses across her forehead, voice a gentle whisper. "You're my everything, Arya." She smiled softly against his chest, contentment radiating warmly throughout her being. "And you're mine, Ethan, always." Sleep embraced them gently, promises of tomorrow woven delicately through their dreams. Their sudden marriage, once an impulsive leap of faith, had become the strongest foundation imaginable, built firmly upon trust, authenticity, and boundless love. Morning sunlight filtered gently through gauzy curtains, softly illuminating the cozy honeymoon cabin. Arya woke slowly, warmth and contentment enveloping her as she turned, instinctively reaching for Ethan. Her heart tightened slightly upon finding the sheets beside her empty and cool. "Ethan!" she called softly, sitting up slowly, the sheets pooling delicately around her. Silence met her call, the cabin unusually quiet after the previous night's joy-filled celebration. She rose carefully, pulling Ethan's oversized shirt around her shoulders, comforted by its faint familiar scent. Padding softly into the living area, she paused at the doorway, suddenly hesitant. Ethan stood across the room, his posture tense, shoulders tight as he spoke urgently yet quietly into his phone. "Yes, I understand." Ethan's voice carried an unfamiliar authority, sharp and direct. "No interviews, we'll issue a statement later, just keep them away from here." Arya's chest tightened instinctively, confusion mingling uneasily with anxiety. She moved closer, barefoot steps soundless against plush carpet. Ethan turned abruptly, eyes widening in surprise as their gazes collided. He ended the call swiftly, yet the quiet tension lingered palpably between them. "Arya," Ethan murmured cautiously, stepping toward her, attempting a reassuring smile. "You're awake earlier than expected. Who was that?" Her voice trembled slightly, betraying her growing unease. Ethan hesitated, eyes flickering momentarily with conflict before settling firmly into honesty. "My PR manager. It seems the press discovered our wedding. They're curious about you." Arya's heart thudded sharply. The press? Why would they care about me? Before Ethan could reply, her gaze landed on the tablet lying abandoned nearby, the screen illuminating softly with a stark headline. "Tech billionaire Ethan Cole secretly marries. Who is the mystery bride?" Her stomach tightened sharply, breath escaping painfully as the full weight of Ethan's world pressed suddenly against her chest. "Ethan?" He moved closer immediately, voice gentle but eyes cautious. "Arya, I intended to explain everything this morning." She shook her head slowly, shock numbing her senses briefly before anger began bubbling fiercely beneath the surface. "When exactly did you plan to tell me that marrying you meant becoming headline news? You promised no more secrets." "Arya, please," Ethan urged softly, desperation edging his tone. "I never expected it to happen so quickly. I wanted us to have privacy, time to adjust." She stepped back instinctively, a wounded expression shadowing her features. "I trusted you completely. You knew how much honesty meant to me, how fragile trust feels after everything with Mark, yet you still kept this from me? Please listen." Ethan reached toward her carefully, visibly pained when she pulled away. "I wasn't hiding it intentionally. I wanted to protect you from this part of my life." "Protect me?" Arya's voice trembled, hurt merging rapidly with betrayal. "You said you'd share your whole self with me, yet I keep discovering things you conveniently forgot to mention." Ethan sighed deeply, rubbing his face tiredly, frustration mingling with clear remorse. "I messed up, Arya. I admit that fully. But I swear to you, it was because I love you, not because I meant to deceive you." Tears blurred Arya's vision briefly, emotions tangling painfully inside her chest. She turned sharply, striding swiftly toward the bedroom, desperate for distance. Ethan followed closely behind, pleading gently for understanding. "Arya, please don't shut me out. he whispered urgently as she paused near the window, gripping its wooden frame tightly. I've been terrified of losing you since the moment we met. My world frightens people, drives them away. With you, I finally felt safe, like I could breathe again. She turned slowly, eyes shimmering painfully. But relationships can't survive on half-truths, Ethan. I fell in love with you, the real you, but right now I'm not even sure who that person is. Ethan's gaze softened deeply, his eyes glistening with quiet sincerity. I'm still the man you married, the one who paints badly alongside you on rainy afternoons, who dances terribly in our kitchen. That hasn't changed. Yet your life, the life you hid, matters. It's part of you, Arya whispered shakily. I deserve to know fully what I was stepping into. Ethan stepped cautiously closer, gently cupping her face, eyes pleading for understanding. You're right. I made a terrible mistake. I was so scared you'd leave once you saw how complicated my life really is. Arya leaned unconsciously into his palm, closing her eyes briefly as internal turmoil threatened to consume her. The deep ache of betrayal wrestled fiercely against her instinctual longing to forgive him. Can you forgive me, Arya? Ethan murmured softly, voice breaking slightly with genuine anguish. Please give me another chance to earn your trust again. She exhaled shakily, eyes slowly opening to search his earnest gaze. A single tear escaped quietly down her cheek, Ethan's thumb brushing it away tenderly. You can't keep hiding things from me, Ethan, she whispered quietly, voice trembling with gentle yet firm resolve. Our marriage won't survive without absolute honesty. I know, Ethan promised earnestly, voice filled with unwavering sincerity. No more secrets, Arya. Ever again. Arya nodded slowly, stepping carefully into his embrace, accepting his warmth and comfort tentatively at first, then more fully as his arms tightened gently around her. The remainder of the morning passed quietly as they prepared for the inevitable confrontation with the media outside. Ethan's reassurance calmed Arya's lingering anxiety slightly, though her heart still carried delicate wounds from the shock of their sudden exposure. By midday, they stood hand in hand, gathering strength before stepping onto the porch where reporters had gathered expectantly. Cameras flashed incessantly, microphones eagerly extended toward them. Ethan squeezed Arya's hand reassuringly, voice steady yet gentle as he addressed the eager crowd. My wife, Arya, and I appreciate everyone's curiosity, but we ask for privacy. Our marriage was never intended to be hidden, merely protected. Arya's identity and privacy matter deeply to me. Please respect that. Questions erupted simultaneously, voices clamoring loudly, yet Ethan remained calmly composed. Arya is an extraordinary woman, an incredibly talented artist whose privacy deserves the same respect you give mine. Arya's heart swelled softly, comforted by Ethan's protective sincerity. Her initial hurt slowly eased, replaced gradually by appreciation for his genuine attempt to shield her from scrutiny. Hours later, alone again, Ethan drew Arya gently into his arms, voice softly apologetic. I'm so sorry this became overwhelming. You deserved better. Arya's fingers traced delicate circles across his chest thoughtfully. It was a shock, but maybe it's time I stopped running from challenges. Ethan tilted her chin softly upward, eyes warm and hopeful. Does this mean you still trust me enough to stay? She smiled gently, leaning into his touch warmly. Yes, Ethan, but promise again, no more surprises. He nodded firmly, eyes sincere and intense. Never again. You're my priority, Arya. Their lips met softly, tentative kisses deepening slowly into something more affirming, each gentle touch reinforcing their emotional reconnection. The tension and hurt gradually dissolved beneath tender caresses, Ethan lifting Arya gently into his arms, carrying her back inside with quiet reverence. In their room, beneath warm, comforting blankets, intimacy flowed easily between them, each touch, each whisper, quietly reassuring their bond. Ethan moved slowly, tenderly worshipping Arya's body with reverent care, seeking forgiveness and redemption through intimate vulnerability. I love you, he whispered earnestly against her skin, lips tracing delicate kisses along her collarbone, slowly downward, eliciting gentle sighs and quiet gasps of pleasure. Arya's heart soared warmly as she surrendered fully to Ethan's tender affection, allowing trust to gradually rebuild through intimate connection. Their union was passionate yet gentle, filled with mutual reverence and deep emotional bonding. As pleasure gradually overwhelmed them, Arya clung tightly to Ethan, crying softly in relief and joy as their climaxes surged warmly through their entwined bodies. Ethan held her tenderly afterward, brushing delicate kisses across her brow, whispering quiet apologies and reassurances until sleep claimed them peacefully once more. Dawn arrived again softly, yet this time, Arya woke peacefully, heart lighter and trust gradually restored. Ethan stirred quietly beside her, pulling her gently into his embrace, whispering softly, "Good morning, love." Despite the pain of revelations past, Arya chose to believe in Ethan again, trusting fully in the sincerity of his heart. Their love, tested but resilient, was strong enough to withstand the complexities they faced together. CTA. Have you faced challenges that made your love strong? You faced challenges that made your love stronger? Comment below and subscribe to share your inspiring stories of trust and forgiveness. In the days following their tumultuous morning revelation, Arya and Ethan navigated a delicate balance. Love remained strong, yet trust hung precariously between them. Each shared glance was infused with a cautious tenderness, each interaction tinged with the cautious hope of healing. Ethan sensed Arya's lingering doubts, careful to approach her gently, giving space while quietly reassuring her through small gestures of sincerity. Yet despite his best intentions, tension lingered, subtle yet undeniable. One quiet evening, Arya stood thoughtfully by their apartment's wide windows, overlooking the city bathed softly in twilight hues. She exhaled slowly, gathering courage before turning toward Ethan, determination clear in her gaze. "We need to talk," she began softly yet firmly, breaking the quiet stillness. Ethan set aside his work immediately, sensing the seriousness in her tone. "Of course," he replied gently, eyes attentive yet wary. Arya hesitated briefly, heart racing gently. "I've been struggling to understand why hiding your identity felt necessary. If we don't confront it openly, it'll always haunt us." Ethan moved cautiously closer, hands extended gently in reassurance. "Arya, I'll answer anything you ask, complete honesty, I promise." She nodded, gathering her thoughts carefully. "What made you think I couldn't handle your world?" He sighed deeply, choosing words carefully yet honestly. "It wasn't you specifically. I've seen relationships collapse under scrutiny before. Wealth attracts expectations, envy, dishonesty. I feared those things corrupting us. I was wrong, but I genuinely thought silence was protecting us." "But you hurt me," she whispered vulnerably, voice trembling slightly. That secrecy felt like manipulation. Pain flashed briefly across Ethan's face, genuine remorse evident. "I regret it deeply, Arya. Manipulation was never my intent. I just desperately wanted to preserve the purity of what we shared." Arya's eyes searched his carefully, weighing sincerity against lingering doubt. "How can I trust fully again, Ethan? I gave my heart completely, only to find something hidden beneath the surface. It reopened wounds I thought had healed after Mark." He approached carefully, voice gentle yet passionately resolute. "Arya, I'm not Mark. My mistake came from love, not betrayal. Let me prove it daily. I'll spend a lifetime regaining your trust if necessary." Her resolve wavered gently, tears quietly gathering. "I want to believe you, but trust feels fragile now." Ethan cupped her face tenderly, voice quietly earnest. "Tell me how I can reassure you." "Complete openness," she whispered softly yet firmly. "No more hidden parts of your life, Ethan." "Agreed," Ethan responded sincerely. "From now on, we face every challenge together." Arya's expression softened, allowing herself to lean into his touch gently, cautiously accepting his promise. "Then show me everything," she urged softly, eyes resolute. The following morning, Ethan led Arya carefully into his downtown offices again, this time introducing her openly to key executives and trusted colleagues. Arya observed closely, noticing the sincere respect Ethan garnered, not simply for wealth but genuine admiration for his character and leadership. Later, alone in Ethan's expansive office, Arya carefully voiced lingering concerns. "Do you think your team accepts me, Ethan, or do they merely tolerate me because I'm married to their CEO?" Ethan gently grasped her hands, eyes softly reassuring. "They see exactly what I see, a remarkable, talented woman who makes me genuinely happy. Your presence enriches my life and, by extension, theirs." Arya sighed gently, absorbing Ethan's earnest assurances. "I just feel out of place sometimes, like an outsider." "You're not an outsider, Arya," Ethan replied passionately, sincerity illuminating his expression fully. "You're the center of my life. This, my wealth, the company, is secondary. Never doubt that." Arya smiled gently, warmed by Ethan's unwavering sincerity. "Thank you for saying that. It helps." Their conversation was interrupted by a gentle knock on the office door. Ethan's assistant entered cautiously, handing Ethan a sleek envelope embossed with gold lettering. Ethan opened it carefully, expression tightening briefly as he silently read its contents. "What is it?" Arya asked cautiously, observing Ethan's tense reaction. "A formal invitation," Ethan admitted slowly, voice cautious. "An annual charity gala I'm expected to attend. It's high profile, public and intrusive. I normally avoid it." Arya's eyes filled with cautious resolve. "We should attend together. Openly, Ethan. Let's face scrutiny head on." He hesitated briefly, visibly protective, yet understanding the importance to Arya's trust. "If you're sure, we'll attend together." That evening, dressed elegantly in a flowing gown that Ethan had carefully chosen for her, Arya entered the grand ballroom at Ethan's side. Camera flashes flickered rapidly, capturing their every move as curious murmurs filled the air. Anxiety fluttered briefly within Arya's chest, yet Ethan's steady presence grounded her, quietly bolstering courage. Throughout the evening, Ethan introduced Arya proudly to numerous influential guests, business leaders, celebrities, philanthropists, presenting her confidently as his cherished partner. Initially hesitant, Arya gradually relaxed, recognizing genuine warmth in Ethan's interactions with people. His authenticity gradually reassured her own confidence. Later, while dancing softly beneath glittering chandeliers, Ethan leaned in close, whispering tenderly, "Are you all right?" She smiled softly, genuine warmth lighting her expression gently. "I'm surprised to admit it, but yes, being here openly feels strangely liberating." The evening progressed peacefully until a particularly aggressive reporter approached unexpectedly, microphone extended forcefully toward them. "Mrs. Cole, were you fully aware of Ethan's immense wealth when you married? Are your intentions genuine?" Arya stiffened instinctively, breath hitching gently at the blunt intrusion. Ethan stepped protectively forward, poised to shield her, yet Arya gently placed a calming hand on his arm, quietly indicating she would respond herself. "Yes, I knew who Ethan truly was," she spoke clearly, confidently, addressing the crowd directly. "Ethan Cole is the man who supported me tirelessly, who believed in my dreams when even I doubted them. Wealth and status are insignificant compared to his heart, compassion, and integrity." The ballroom fell momentarily silent, admiration and respect subtly shifting the crowd's mood. Ethan's eyes shimmered warmly, pride radiating from his gaze. Returning home afterward, emotional exhaustion settled gently over them both, yet beneath it lingered renewed hope, intimacy quietly restored through openness and shared courage. In their bedroom's quiet sanctuary, Ethan gently removed Arya's gown, fingertips tracing delicate paths across her skin, each touch quietly reaffirming their fragile yet resilient bond. Arya responded tenderly, eyes locked intimately with Ethan's, each gentle caress silently promising forgiveness, openness, and unwavering devotion. Their bodies joined slowly, deliberately, reaffirming trust through tender, intimate union. Afterward, nestled warmly against Ethan's chest, Arya sighed gently, whispered words quiet yet resolute. "Tonight changed something important, Ethan." He tightened his embrace protectively yet gently. "Tell me." "I realize trust isn't something we rebuild quietly in isolation," she whispered thoughtfully. "It's forged openly, courageously facing whatever life throws our way, together." Ethan's heart swelled warmly, relief evident in his soft exhale. "Then that's exactly what we'll do, Arya. Always." She smiled softly, fully accepting his sincere promise. "I believe you." In that quiet moment, clarity enveloped them both gently, finally dissolving lingering fears, doubts, and uncertainty. Trust remained fragile yet strong, carefully nurtured through open vulnerability. They drifted gently toward sleep, hearts quietly united again, fully in mutual understanding, prepared to face the world courageously, openly, honestly, and completely together. CTA, have you overcome betrayal or rebuilt trust in your relationship? Share your experiences in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more inspiring stories. In the weeks following the gala, Arya and Ethan experienced a gentle but profound shift in their relationship. Trust, once delicate, slowly deepened into an unshakable foundation. Their lives became openly intertwined, with Ethan welcoming Arya completely into his professional sphere, just as he cherished her presence in his private world. Ethan made deliberate efforts to show transparency in every aspect of his life. No business meetings or events were held without Arya's knowledge, and often her participation. Their bond grew stronger each day through intentional openness and vulnerability. One quiet evening, as golden sunlight filled their living room, Ethan watched tenderly as Arya painted thoughtfully near the window. She paused occasionally, studying her canvas with gentle concentration, completely absorbed. Ethan's heart swelled warmly, quietly grateful for her presence in his life. Feeling his gaze, Arya glanced upward softly, lips curving into a tender smile. "What's on your mind?" Ethan stepped toward her gently, warmth radiating from his expression. "Just realizing how fortunate I am," he admitted quietly, sitting beside her carefully. "Not long ago, I almost lost you. Now, seeing you here, with me like this, feels like a miracle." Arya placed her brush aside, eyes shimmering gently. "We've come a long way," she acknowledged softly, voice filled with tender warmth. "Trusting you again was scary, but you made it possible." He gently lifted her hand to his lips, pressing a soft, lingering kiss to her fingers. "Your trust means everything to me, Arya. I'll never take it for granted again." Moved by his genuine sincerity, she leaned closer, capturing his lips softly in an affectionate kiss. Their embrace deepened quietly, filled with tender reassurance and mutual longing. Ethan gently lifted Arya into his arms, carrying her tenderly toward their bedroom. Inside, amidst the soft glow of evening, their intimacy deepened beautifully, each touch quiet yet filled with powerful emotion. Ethan's fingertips traced gentle patterns across Arya's skin, memorizing every delicate curve, every whispered sigh. "I love you so deeply," Ethan murmured softly, lips brushing gently across her neck, moving slowly downward. His kisses conveyed reverence, appreciation, and genuine affection. Arya's breath quickened softly, her fingers tangling gently into Ethan's hair, encouraging him closer, silently affirming the trust carefully rebuilt between them. "I love you, Ethan," she whispered earnestly, voice trembling gently with emotion. Always, their bodies moved together seamlessly, trust and passion blending beautifully, each moment building naturally toward shared ecstasy. Their climax washed over them slowly yet powerfully, reaffirming their intimate connection fully. Afterward, nestled warmly in Ethan's embrace, Arya sighed gently, contentment radiating softly from her being. "This feels right, Ethan," she murmured softly against his chest, fingertips tracing gentle circles over his heart. "It does," Ethan agreed tenderly, pressing affectionate kisses gently into her hair. "I never imagined love could be this open, this genuine." Arya lifted her head softly, eyes warmly meeting his. "Honesty changed everything for us. It transformed love from something fragile into something unbreakable." Ethan gently stroked her cheek, voice quietly earnest. "Then let's promise again, every day, to keep it this way. No barriers, no hiding." "I promise," Arya whispered warmly, eyes shining gently with heartfelt sincerity. In the days that followed, Ethan and Arya deepened their commitment even further, intentionally integrating their worlds fully. Ethan began regularly inviting Arya into his most meaningful work projects, genuinely valuing her perspective. In return, Arya shared her creative process openly, welcoming Ethan fully into her artistic dreams. Their openness fostered genuine intimacy and mutual admiration, strengthening their bond profoundly. Even daily routines became meaningful, filled with quiet moments of appreciation, shared glances across crowded rooms, playful laughter over simple breakfasts, quiet encouragement in difficult moments. One peaceful afternoon, Ethan surprised Arya gently by converting a spare room into a personal art studio, complete with expansive windows and carefully arranged supplies tailored perfectly to her needs. "Ethan, this is incredible," Arya gasped softly, eyes filling with emotional gratitude. "You truly thought of everything." "I wanted you to have a space where your dreams could flourish," Ethan admitted tenderly. "Seeing you happy makes everything worth it." She stepped toward him warmly, wrapping her arms gently around his neck. "You're the most thoughtful man I've ever known," she whispered earnestly. Together, they spent evenings in comfortable silence, Arya painting freely, Ethan working quietly beside her, their companionship easy, genuine, and fully trusting. Their world became an open sanctuary built carefully upon shared honesty and vulnerability. One quiet night, nestled warmly beneath soft blankets, Arya spoke softly yet earnestly. "I feel truly safe with you now, Ethan." Ethan's chest tightened warmly, tenderness radiating gently through his response. "That's exactly how I always want you to feel, Arya, safe, loved, and completely cherished." She smiled gently, snuggling contentedly closer against him, voice softly vulnerable. "There's something I've never fully shared, but I want you to know now." He turned gently toward her, eyes warmly attentive. "You can tell me anything, Arya." Arya hesitated briefly, vulnerability shimmering gently in her eyes. When Mark left, I felt worthless, disposable. For a long time afterward, I genuinely believed I wasn't worthy of love again. Then you entered my life so unexpectedly, showing me I deserved something better, something real. Ethan gently stroked her hair, eyes tenderly reassuring. You were always worthy, Arya. Mark's blindness doesn't define your worth. You're extraordinary. Emotion tightened Arya's throat softly, grateful tears shimmering gently. Thank you for believing in me, Ethan, even when I couldn't believe in myself. He tenderly brushed her tears away, whispering softly yet passionately, I'll always believe in you, Arya. Their kiss was gentle yet deeply meaningful, each touch reaffirming trust, healing lingering wounds completely. Their intimacy afterward was slow, gentle, and profoundly emotional, quietly celebrating genuine trust rebuilt through intentional love and honesty. Days melted gently into weeks, each filled with tender, ordinary moments deeply enriched by mutual trust. Public appearances gradually became comfortable routine rather than tense obligations. Ethan proudly introduced Arya openly in every sphere, emphasizing her identity not merely as his wife, but as a talented artist deserving genuine respect and recognition. Gradually, Arya's initial uncertainty dissolved fully, replaced confidently by genuine assurance in Ethan's unwavering devotion. Trust flourished quietly, continually nurtured through sincere gestures, shared vulnerability, and intentional honesty. One particularly gentle morning, Ethan quietly watched Arya painting beside their window, sunlight illuminating her softly. He approached carefully, gently embracing her from behind, his chin resting affectionately on her shoulder. What are you painting today? Ethan asked tenderly, voice softly curious. Arya smiled gently, leaning warmly into him. A memory from our first night together, the moment everything changed for us. Ethan gazed tenderly at her canvas, warmth spreading deeply within him at the delicate brushstrokes capturing their initial connection perfectly. It's beautiful, Arya, he murmured softly. Just like our story. Arya turned gently in his arms, eyes shining warmly with profound affection. I never imagined our journey leading here, but I'm grateful every day that it did. Ethan gently cupped her face, pressing a tender kiss to her lips, quietly whispering his heartfelt reply. Our journey taught me the most important lesson. Love thrives openly, honestly, without fear. Arya smiled softly, heart gently affirming his quiet yet profound words. Then let's always choose openness, Ethan. He nodded gently, eyes lovingly sincere. Always. In that quiet moment, surrounded softly by morning's peaceful glow, Ethan and Arya recommitted fully to a love built carefully upon unbreakable trust. Their story, once complicated by secrets and doubts, now flourished beautifully through honesty, vulnerability, and unwavering devotion. Together they proved trust could indeed be rebuilt, not only restored, but made stronger, richer, more meaningful through genuine openness. Their bond, now completely honest, promised a lifetime of quiet strength, mutual support, and deeply fulfilling love. As months drifted gently forward, Arya and Ethan's bond flourished openly, solidified through quiet acts of honesty, unwavering transparency, and mutual respect. The barriers that once separated their worlds dissolved entirely, leaving only genuine partnership in their wake. One crisp autumn afternoon, Arya stood beside Ethan confidently, fingers intertwined warmly, as they faced a large gathering of reporters, colleagues, and supporters. Ethan had organized a formal event, part press conference, part intimate announcement, to publicly address their journey, openly acknowledging past mistakes and celebrating their renewed commitment. Ethan stepped calmly to the microphone, voice steady yet heartfelt. Thank you all for gathering here today. We've invited you to share something deeply personal yet essential to both of us. He paused briefly, eyes gentle yet resolute as he continued. When Arya and I first met, I made choices rooted in fear of judgment, misunderstanding, and loss. Those choices nearly cost me the most meaningful relationship of my life. Today, I stand here openly, with the woman I love, pledging transparency and honesty in all we do. He turned tenderly toward Arya, eyes shining with profound sincerity. Arya has taught me courage, trust, and authenticity. Her love transformed my life, and today we move forward openly together, united, stronger, and fully committed. Cameras flashed quietly, capturing Ethan's emotional vulnerability, as Arya squeezed his hand gently, stepping forward gracefully beside him. She spoke softly yet confidently. Ethan and I learned difficult lessons about trust and openness. We've shared our struggles, vulnerabilities, and healing because we believe honesty matters deeply, not only in private, but publicly too. Arya's voice softened emotionally. I fell in love with Ethan's heart, his compassion, kindness, and sincerity. Together, we've discovered that true intimacy thrives openly, without secrets. Today marks our promise to always face the world together, honestly, bravely, and completely. Applause rose warmly from their audience, genuine respect and admiration evident in their reactions. Ethan gently drew Arya close, pressing a tender, affirming kiss softly to her forehead, a simple yet powerful gesture publicly affirming their trust and intimacy. Later, amidst quiet conversation and congratulations, Arya stood aside briefly, observing Ethan thoughtfully from a short distance. Olivia approached gently, affectionately nudging Arya's shoulder with a warm smile. "You look incredibly happy," Olivia observed softly, eyes warmly affectionate. "I am," Arya admitted quietly, voice filled with heartfelt sincerity. Trust was frightening, but Ethan's openness changed everything. Olivia squeezed her hand gently, eyes shimmering softly. "I'm proud of you both. You chose courage when fear would have been easier. Trust feels beautiful now," Arya whispered thoughtfully, voice gently reflective. "Like freedom, authenticity, something we fought for and now deeply cherish." Across the room, Ethan caught Arya's gaze tenderly, quietly crossing toward her. Olivia stepped back gently, giving space as Ethan embraced Arya affectionately, pressing a gentle kiss softly to her cheek. "What were you thinking about?" Ethan asked quietly, curiosity gently affectionate. Arya smiled softly, fingers tracing gentle patterns along his lapel. "Just reflecting on how far we've come, and how thankful I am that we chose openness." Ethan's eyes warmed deeply, sincerity evident. "I'm grateful every day for that choice, and for you." Later that evening, beneath the gentle glow of home, Ethan and Arya quietly reflected on their day, intimately sharing thoughts, hopes, and dreams for their future. "I feel like we finally reached a place of genuine peace," Arya whispered tenderly, nestled warmly against Ethan's chest. "We overcame so much, Ethan." "We did," Ethan agreed softly, gently stroking her hair affectionately. "And through it all, I learned something invaluable, that real love demands openness, bravery, and constant honesty." Arya lifted her head softly, eyes warmly meeting his. "It's made everything richer, deeper. Our trust feels unbreakable now." "Exactly," Ethan affirmed gently, voice passionate yet tender. "Our love is resilient precisely because it's built on complete truth." They shared a tender, affirming kiss, lips gently exploring, silently celebrating their carefully nurtured bond. Gradually, passion deepened warmly, their intimacy quiet yet profound, filled with quiet joy, emotional fulfillment, and mutual reassurance. That night, as they lay warmly intertwined, Ethan spoke softly yet meaningfully. "Let's never lose sight of this openness, Arya. Let's always face whatever life brings together, bravely, honestly, completely." Arya smiled warmly, heart gently affirming his quiet yet profound words. "Always, Ethan. Trust feels too precious now to ever risk losing again." In the quiet serenity of their room, love and trust felt beautifully secure, rooted firmly in shared vulnerability, mutual courage, and genuine honesty. Their bond, once threatened by hidden truths, now thrived openly, resiliently stronger because of every challenge faced together. As months passed quietly, Ethan and Arya became admired publicly not merely for Ethan's professional achievements, but for their inspiring commitment to openness and authenticity. Media and public figures praised their relationship, often referring affectionately to their story as a powerful example of courageously rebuilt trust. One peaceful morning, Ethan quietly approached Arya as she painted softly, gently wrapping her in a tender embrace from behind. "I have something for you," Ethan murmured softly, voice gently affectionate, presenting Arya carefully with a delicate velvet box. Curiously, she opened it carefully, heart swelling gently at the stunning diamond pendant nestled within, delicate yet exquisite. "It's beautiful," Arya breathed softly, eyes shimmering gently. "Look at the engraving," Ethan encouraged quietly. Arya turned the pendant delicately, heart tightening warmly at the words gently inscribed. "Trust, courage, forever." "Ethan," she whispered emotionally, turning gently toward him, eyes warmly affectionate. "I wanted something tangible," Ethan explained softly, sincerity radiating gently from his eyes, a constant reminder of what matters most. Trust, openness, and our commitment to each other. She leaned affectionately into his embrace, warmth enveloping them quietly yet profoundly. "I'll treasure it always, Ethan." He kissed her softly yet passionately, quietly reaffirming their bond, trust rebuilt completely through openness, honesty, and unwavering devotion. Their love story, once complicated by hidden truths, now beautifully inspired others, proving genuine trust could indeed be carefully rebuilt, and that honesty was the strongest foundation love could ever possess. In their quiet moments, Arya and Ethan often reflected tenderly upon their journey, grateful they'd chosen courage and openness above fear. They'd learned deeply profound lessons, transforming their love into something incredibly resilient and genuinely inspiring. As their days moved gently forward, their commitment remained unwavering, always choosing transparency over secrecy, vulnerability over hiding, trust over doubt. Together, Ethan and Arya faced the world openly, bravely, and authentically, trust rebuilt fully through genuine love, vulnerability, and constant courage. And for them, that was everything. Thank you for joining this emotional journey. If you've experienced the transformative power of trust and openness in your own life, please share your stories in the comments below. Remember to subscribe for more deeply inspiring